Hey everyone, Zach here. Today we're going to talk about how to create unity in your network marketing team. Now, to go ahead and start this off, I want to ask you a question. You ever seen one of these before? This is a bonsai tree. Now, if you don't know what a bonsai tree is, it's a super cute little tree about this big, and it's actually a miniature replica of a real tree. Now, I'll show you the picture of the real tree here in a minute, but this bonsai tree is going to give us a nice analogy here for a moment. So I'm going to show you how to create unity in your team. Now, just so you know, this is a 7-part series. So I'm going to actually record 7 different videos for you. This is number 1. This first one is going to be a blanket kind of overview of creating unity and retention on your team. And then the other 6 videos will be tactical things that you can apply today to go ahead and actually create that unity. But you can't skip this video because if you do, none of the other stuff matters. Cool? So this is video number 1. And then when you look down below, you'll see the other 6 videos get linked in the description as they get released. Sound good? All right, so why did I bring this whole bonsai tree thing up? Well, what I want you to remember is that you cannot be a bonsai rep and create unity on your team. So what does unity mean? Unity means a bunch of people are aligned and following one vision. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean one leader, although it can. It means one vision. So a bunch of people or followers, there could even be leaders in there, are following one vision. So if I have 3,000 people and we're all marching to the same drum beat, we're all doing the same thing, that's unity. So if I create a team where there's no unity, I think we can all tell that I have a less likely chance of actually retaining those people, right? I also have a smaller chance of getting proper duplication on my team if they're all doing 5,000 things. So let's talk about creating unity. And the first lesson we're going to talk about is this bonsai tree. So what I want you to do is write this down. Don't be a bonsai rep. Now, what does a bonsai rep mean? Bonsai rep is like this little tree here. This little tree here has this exact same bark. It looks the same way. It has the same branch curvature and style. The leaves look the same. The leaves are the same color. But something different about it. It's way, way, way smaller, right? I mean, it looks good, smells good, tastes good, talks good, but yet it doesn't have any of the same results as the big bonsai tree. This is the same way a lot of reps are. This is the same way I was actually in my first few years in network marketing. You know, I had all the nice suits, I had the nice shoes, I drove a decent car, you know, I spoke well, I talked on stage good, but I didn't really have that good of results. I looked good, smelled good, talked good, sounded good, but didn't really have the results. I was like the little bonsai tree. So let's talk about how you should not be what a bonsai tree does, and then show you how to not do it. Because if you are a bonsai tree, no one wants to follow that. But I think you're going to find out that a lot of us actually do bonsai tree type things and don't even know it. What's the first one? The first one is that we don't ever drive deep roots if we're bonsai reps. What do I mean by that? Well, a bonsai tree is small because it has a pot. It's stuck in a pot. See, bonsai reps like transportability. They like to be able to move around. They don't want to grow their roots deep because they don't want to be too stuck into anything. So what they do is they chase new things all the time. Oh, today I'm going to lead with my health products. Tomorrow I'm going to lead with my skincare products. This day I'm going to lead with travel products. And maybe that day I'll lead with an opportunity. They move around all the time. They're always looking for a new solution to a problem that's actually inside of them. They're like, oh, I should try this funnel or that funnel or that funnel or that funnel. They keep bouncing. Here's the bottom line. I'm not saying one method is better than the other right now, but most methods are going to work in some capacity. A webinar funnel still works, sales funnel can work, or a sales letter funnel can work, a video sales letter funnel can work, a free plus shipping funnel can work. Honestly, if done properly with the right company, even a hotel meeting can still work in some aspects. So I'm not talking about a strategy, but what bonsai reps do is they bump from strategy to strategy, never thinking that the problem is within them and always blaming it on the thing. That's what bonsai reps do. They like to be able to get up and change companies or change strategies really easy because they like the little pot. They like the transportability. What you and I need to do is realize that the opposite is what creates a true rooted rep, which is getting planted where you can drive roots. Now, what's the second trait? The second trait is that bonsai trees always require maintenance. So this little bonsai tree here that I showed you a picture of, did you know that once a week it has to literally get immersed, soaked in a bucket of special water. And then every single day you have to walk around the thing and spray it. Spray the branches, spray the leaves, all that stuff to keep it hydrated. Because the root system is so small, it doesn't hold on to any water. So it literally has to happen every day, and then every week you have to dunk it. Requires constant maintenance. Bonsai reps are the same thing. They constantly need encouragement, constantly need motivation, constantly need inspiration. It's like spraying the little bonsai tree and be like, it's okay, buddy, you can do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the bottom line is, true unified reps that know where they're going don't need that constant maintenance, right? Now, sure, do I need encouragement every now and then from a friend or a sponsor or my upline? Yeah, and I love it, and I definitely embrace it. But do I need it? No. I'm moving in the same direction regardless if I get that or not. I believe that what I'm doing is the best thing for me and my family, so I'm moving in that direction. I don't need that constant maintenance, right? Bonsai reps always need that stuff, but truly unified, rooted reps don't. Now, don't get me wrong, you should edify your team, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't constantly need inspiration or motivation to move forward towards your goals. I mean, do you really need motivation every day to get up and go to work? No, because you know the consequences if you don't. What if you took that same mentality and applied it to your business? You see what I'm saying? By the way, a friend of mine, Tim Sales, said something really good the other day. I was at one of his events, and I was sitting in the crowd, and he said something really, really smart. He said, motivation is typically a substitution for proper training. You ever notice that if you know how to do something really, really well, that you don't necessarily need to get motivated to do it because you just want to do what you're good at? See, if you're trained well, and this is not your upline's job, this is your job to get trained. If you're trained well, you'll go and do the thing. Make sense? Okay, so let's move on. What does a true rooted rep look like, or a true rooted tree look like? Well, this is the picture of a rooted tree. You can see it looks a lot bigger, right? I mean, it's absolutely massive. Now, what's the main difference? The main difference is it's not in a pot and its roots are, way down there. So what does that look like from a representative standpoint? The first one is commitment. Are you committed to your cause? Are you committed to your mission, to what you're actually doing? Are you committed to your strategy? Now, if you get on my team, let's say, and you found, after you get on my team and you were kind of checking things out, and after 3 weeks, you kind of realize wow, I don't think Zach actually practiced what he preaches. I don't think he actually really believes in his strategies or really believes in his company even. Let me ask you a question. If that's the way you felt, are you going to follow me anywhere? Of course not. If you felt like I was constantly looking over the fence at something else or trying other things on the side, would you follow me? No. That means that I'm not going to create a unified team, because a unified team is what? A group of people following one mission. So if that's what I'm doing, I'm not creating a unified team. What is your team doing when they look at you? Are you doing all those bonsai rep things, or are you rooted? Are you committed to the strategy that you're following? Now, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't be following a dumb strategy, so change it if it's not working. But is there fruit on the tree in the strategy that you're following? And if there is, why aren't you sticking to it? Be committed where you're at, right? Drive your roots deep. Second thing is get rooted in relationships with people on the team. One of the reasons people try to kind of avoid relationships in network marketing is because they don't want to be too ingrained with someone, because then they feel like they need to be held, or that they will get held accountable. If you feel like if you're afraid of accountability because you're not sure you're going to be doing what it takes, then you typically avoid relationship and avoid getting rooted. Now, if you do that, obviously you're not going to get results because you're not going to be doing the work that it takes. So get rooted, create those relationships. By the way, bonsai trees, when they're planted, those roots get so crazy stinking deep. And what do you think happens when those roots start driving deep and those roots go into the ground and they hit something maybe like a rock barrier or like a water pipe or something like that? Do they stop and say, I wanted to drive my roots deep, but now whatever? No, those roots pound through it. I mean, you can look all over the place. There is stories all over the place of trees, roots driving through pipes in the ground and blasting through them. What does that look like for you? That means when you're driving your roots deep, when you're getting ingrained into your business, and when you come up against tough things, you don't stop, you go through it, right? If you have a tough relationship with a crossline or a downline or an upline, you don't stop, you don't say, oh, screw it, hands up, I quit. No, you work through it. It's a people business. There's going to be problems, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care what company you're in or what system you have. There will be problems, right? If you're looking for a perfect business, don't join network marketing and don't do anything that involves human beings, because there's going to be issues. Work through the problems. There's a great example of a gal on our team. She was working with someone else. She's not even on our team. She was working with someone else in our company, was not getting along whatsoever, just complete and total clashing, right? Just was not getting along at all. And she was like, you know what? I need to get help. I need to figure this out. I'm willing to be rooted in this team, and I'm willing to, I'm not going to try to move lines of sponsorship or anything like that, right? But I'm willing to get rooted. And so you know what? So she stayed where she was at, and she just found someone that she related with that she could get training from. And we help her out, but she's exactly where she is. She didn't move lines of sponsorship or nothing weird like that. She's still with her original upline. they had a falling out, whatever. But what she did is she said, you know what, I'm going to get rooted, I'm going to figure this out, I'm not going to let something silly like that screw me up for my future. Does that make sense? She's someone that was willing to figure it out. Now, by the way, that was kind of like a last resort thing. You shouldn't be like getting coaching from all these other lines of sponsorship, as you'll find out in future videos, but that was a last resort for her. But she said, you know what, I'm going to figure this out, and so she did. So number one, they drive roots, right? They're willing to figure out what it takes. The second thing is when roots are driven, you know that nutrients get passed between roots in a tree system. So if this one is having some problems, this tree root will actually pass nutrients over to the other one. It's the same way when your relationship with people. There's a book that I read and it says a triple bound cord is not easily broken. If you're by yourself and you run into some resistance, that can get broken. If it's a triple bound cord, 3 relationships in one, that's not easily broken. You ever notice that it's always easier to go through something when you're with someone? That's why you want to drive roots places, so that you have relationship with people, so that it's easier to go through stuff together. Does that make sense? So what I encourage you to do is to drive roots where you're at, okay? Drive roots down, get committed to one company with one method of operation. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole expose of figuring out the right company or the right method that you should use to grow. You should have the right company, and you should use a proper method to grow. If you're cold contacting people at gas stations to take them to a hotel meeting, I hate to tell you, that method is dead. So find a method that is relevant and that works, that people are currently getting results with. Even if it's not you, someone's getting results with it. Commit to it and do it. Drive roots deep. Get close with people on your team and create something called unity within yourself. When you have unity within yourself of what you're doing, when you add people to your team, they can sense the unity and they'll move with you. Does that make sense? You need to have unity if you're going to retain people. That's step number one. If you don't do this, I don't care how many tactics you put in place, it's not going to work. Is that fair? So do that first. Commit to being unified. Commit to driving roots where you're at. Stop hopping around, right? Stop hopping between strategies. Stick where you're at. And if you haven't figured out where you're at yet, find where you should go and then stick the landing and stay there. And then, and only then, do you apply steps 1 through 6. I'm going to go over here in a minute. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So anyway, this is how you create unity in your MLM team. So if you found value in this, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you learned. And lastly, I want you to go ahead and go down below, go to MLMsalesfunnels.com. You can join the private discussion group where we talk nothing more or nothing other than growing your business with sales funnels. That's MLMsalesfunnels.com. And if you want to learn how we actually use the things that we talk about to grow our business using online sales funnels, go to MLMRebelsBlueprint.com. You can learn exactly how we do that totally for free. Sound good? All right, well, hope you have an amazing day and talk to y'all soon.